everyone, my name is Timishang Ernst and welcome back to A Simple Life with Dumi. I really appreciate you checking my channel out and my videos out, and I really hope that we get to build each other as women, as mothers, as ladies in corporate. Let's just do this thing, let's grow and let's just rock and run the world. So today I'm actually talking about something that is very close to my heart, and I'm talking about how not every woman has that advantage of going through a very smooth pregnancy. It's something that I went through myself, and I know it's something that's actually very undermined. Not a lot of women talk about it, and I only started realizing actually how serious things are when I started going through it and actually researching about it. So in my case, I actually had something called a short cervix. It's also known as an incompetent cervix or an insufficient cervix. So you're probably wondering, what is that? Especially if you're like me and you're hearing this for the first time. In my case, I had it when I was going through it, and let me just tell you my story. But before I tell you my story, I just want you to understand that not every woman goes through a perfect pregnancy. I look at women who are so active in their pregnancies and they're very happy, they can take photos and show the whole world and just celebrate it outwardly and make it such a big deal. Unfortunately, it's not the case for everyone. Other women prefer to keep their pregnancies a secret. Other women have gone through a lot to get pregnant, that they don't want to mess it with anything. They don't even want people to know about it. But most importantly, I want you to understand that we must get rid of that misconception and the assumption that she's pregnant, she's happy, she's probably craving things, not sleeping well or whatever, and we forget what women can actually go through, how sensitive pregnancy is. That's why I don't like it when people touch pregnant women's bellies, because it's also another way of just showing how insensitive you are in the process, but every man, every woman to themselves. But I just want us to understand that women go through different pregnancies, so we must get rid of any mentalities, misconceptions, and any blanket that we should put on pregnant women, that they are happy, or that they're having it smooth, or that they're not sick. You know what? Pregnancy is personal. Pregnancy is very sensitive. In my case, we found out that we were pregnant. We were very excited, and then we went through the process. Everything was nice, going for the first scan, telling the family, telling friends. It was very nice, and then you start showing and people start telling you you're cute, and they're like, it's so nice. And then boom, one day I was at work, so my working hours were from 9 to 6, and then that day I was in the best mood ever. I was so happy. It was a Monday. The previous day I had made my favorite dish, chicken biryani. So it was so I had it for scarf dinner. I was so happy that I had my favorite food. Pregnant women and food, and me actually, even when I'm not pregnant and food, like, I'm just happy. And then so I was just having a good day. I was looking good. Everybody was just telling me, oh, you look so good in that dress. That dress didn't even belong to me. It was my sister's dress. I was just rocking it that Monday. And then around 4 5, the baby started to move. Like, I didn't understand why the baby was moving so much. Obviously, at 6 months pregnancy, the baby's already moving a lot, But then at that point, I didn't understand what was going on. The baby was just moving too much. Next thing, I can feel the baby is actually trying to, is actually pressing out of my belly. I'm in a lot of pain. So at that moment, I told my manager, you know what, I need to go home. I left. I drove home. On my way home, it was hard because it was painful. There were moments when it was very sore, but I needed to get home. That's what I told myself. But if I get home, get to bed, I'll be fine. Then I got home. I told my husband what was going on. He also just thought, get into bed and let's see how you are. There I was, getting into pajamas, getting into bed. I started getting worse. Then I called my mom. I told my mom, you know what, this is happening, the baby is moving too much, he's pressing down, I feel like he wants to come out, I'm in a lot of pain. I mean, it's my first pregnancy, I don't even know how labor pains are, so you can imagine, I don't know, I have no clue about what I'm going through. Had it been a second pregnancy, at least I would have been through labor pains, I would know that, oh actually I'm in something, I'm in something close to labor. So I called my mom. My mom is like, you know what, go to the hospital. What you're explaining to me sounds pretty abnormal. I went to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, the nurse checked me, and then when she checked me, she said, you know what, you are dilating. I know what dilating is. I know it's a term you use when you're about to give birth. And then I'm like, why am I dilating? And then when the doctor came in, she's like, you've got something called a short cervix. So basically, your cervix is incompetent, you know, to handle the baby. So a short cervix leads to miscarriages, it leads to preterm labor, or you might just, yeah, like you might just not be able to handle any pregnancies in your life. When you get such news, guys, you're excited for your first baby, and then you get such news. I was so sad. Obviously, the doctor told me that we usually perform something called a settlage. So a settlage is a stitch that they put on the mouth of your cervix so that the baby doesn't come out. But at that stage of my pregnancy, I was already way beyond time for a settlage. So she told me that, you know what, we can't put it anymore. You have to we just have to put you on bed rest and medication, and we'll see how things go. Okay, she put me, I think she gave me oh my gosh, Pregnostrol. I'm gonna write the name here. I'm not a biology person, but I remember the medication. And she also gave me antibiotics, and I was kept in hospital, I think, for 2 days on bed rest. I was elevated just so that, I mean, my lower part was elevated just so that the movement, the pressure doesn't go downwards, but it goes back inside the womb, you know, so that the baby doesn't come out. And then after that, I was discharged, put on bed rest for I think it was 2 weeks. On bed rest, I was told I must still maintain the same position of being my bottom part must go up, and my upper part must go down so that the baby can go downwards. And then after that bed rest, I started feeling better, but I couldn't stand for long. I couldn't go anywhere. I remember I was so sad because I could not even do baby shopping, you know, like going out to buy baby clothes and stuff. It was a mission. I couldn't go to malls, I couldn't go anywhere. I was homebound. And after the bed rest was over, I had to go to work. Even at work, I had to sit in such a way that my bottom part was elevated until I gave birth. But before I gave birth, I think it was at 8 months, just a month before I gave birth, after worrying that, okay, I won't be able to do my baby shopping, I literally did my baby shopping after I gave birth. A lot of things, because I couldn't do a lot of things while I was pregnant because of that situation or that condition. I could not stand for long. If I stood for long, I would feel the baby pushing out, I would feel like the baby wants to push out, or I'll have sharp pains, you know, around my waist. So I knew that something was wrong. And you know what, God gave us bodies that talk to us. So I'm glad that whenever I was going through or I was doing something dangerous, my body would always tell me, you know what, hush, rest, you'll do the rest of the things tomorrow. So yeah, at that point I could not cook, I could not do much. I'll do laundry. Okay, thank God for washing machines. I would sort it sitting down, driving to work, because my husband and I work in areas where he couldn't really drive me to work. So I would be able to drive to work and then fetch him along the way, and then he drives on our way back home. So that was basically our situation at the time, and the pregnancy at the time. It wasn't perfect. I mean, which mom wants to go through that? And I remember when I was starting in that situation, one of my friends slash colleagues, she told me that, you know what, pregnancy requires a lot of faith, you know, for you to end up holding a baby in your hands. And those words stuck with me, and I think they'll even stick with me in my future pregnancies, that, you know what, it takes faith for you to hold that baby in your hand. For me, I was very naive, thinking, okay, I'm pregnant, yes, I'm gonna give birth, you know, life is good. I didn't know that there's actually things that you can come across that can actually challenge you and make you actually wonder if you will ever hold that baby in your hands. So I think I've said a mouthful. I just want you to know that we need to be knowledgeable about our pregnancies as women. Let's research, especially when you're pregnant, research what can happen to you, not as a matter of fear, but just be prepared. And also, let's not make assumptions about pregnancies. And to women who've lost babies due to short cervix, you know what, guys, I understand what you're going through, but there's hope. You know, there's hope that next time things will go well, especially if you just involve your doctor from the beginning and just tell him that, you know what, I've gone through this. You get that settlage very early, your baby will be protected. Unfortunately, apparently it doesn't work if you're having twins, but it really works, because I know someone who went through that settlage thing after having quite a few miscarriages, and they were able to handle their pregnancy till the end, you know. So pregnancy, guys, it's a beautiful journey. Somebody is growing inside of you. It's somebody. It's not a TV, it's not a couch, it's not a phone, it's a person. Just before I end, sorry, I almost forgot. There was a happy ending to my story. I gave birth at 38 weeks to a beautiful baby boy. He was so cute. Okay, obviously when they're born ugly, but then they become very cute. To a beautiful baby boy. Now he's 2, and the future is bright. Who knows when my next pregnancy is? Well, God knows, you know, and obviously I know when plans are, but yeah. So let's just hope for the future and get educated as women. Remember to go to my blog www.asimplelifewithdumi.com for more information and more videos on those topics. And also, please remember just to suggest other topics that you want me to talk about in the comments section. I would really appreciate it if you tell me. Mwah.